Thank you, Stephanie. Hello, my name is Emily Bustamante. I am the lead toddler guide in the Manchaca location. Today, we're going to focus on one of the most exciting and sometimes daunting transitions in the toddlerhood, um, tolerating independence. We're going to approach this using the principles of Dr. Maria Montessori. Our focus is on the environment and not the training the child, just the environment. So, why independent matters. The core Montessori principle here is the prepared environment. It's not about training the child, it's about making the environment accessible that the child can master the skill on their own. Tolerating isn't just about the body, it's about their dignity. When a child can pull down their own clothes, use a potty, and wash their hands without the adult, they gain immense self-control. And our job is to be silent and just help them achieve all their goals in the restroom. So, here's a potty, just showing you how basic it could be. So now we're moving to the essential equipment that we use in our restrooms. The first tool is the first tool is the easiest to get wrong. We recommend starting with the simple single piece potty chair. Why? Because it puts the child in a naturally supporting squatting position. Most importantly, it allows their feet to be flat on the floor. This provides the stability needed for them to push and feel a sense of security. Avoid chairs that are toys, make any kind of noises, or looks like thrones. We just want a basic potty for the toddler. And this is the one that we use in my classroom. I really like it. It's easy to clean. Even the toddlers sometimes they clean on their own, um, because they like to be really independent, which is awesome. All you have to do is just remove the little white part and clean it up. Um, the we have to provide also access to everything in the restroom so they can feel independent. The first, once they're done using the potty, um, they want to wash their hands. So this is where the practical life work begins. Hand washing, this is where they have to have a step stool. It must be heavy and stable because a lot of toddlers get scared, especially if it's wobbly. Um, they need a stability when it comes down to stepping up to wash their hands. They require that safety. Sometimes we have to evaluate our sinks. Are the faucets too stiff? We have a faucet extender just so it can bring the water closer in my classroom for the children. Or if you don't have that, a little bowl, they can works as well. You just pour water in there. Sometimes just a little bowl can help them. If they can't wash their hands independently, the entire cycle is broken because you have to start all the way from the top again. The order of operations, this is where sequences begin. Um, so we're going to just break down the hand washing sequence. It's just simple for them. The setup is the lesson: soap, place it on the counter edge so they don't have to strain or tip the bottle. A foam soap is often easier for the little hands to manage. Water, if your sink gets too hot, mark the faucet or limit the hot water entirely. Towels, attach a ring or a hook very low, or use a simple basket of cloth so they can grab. That's what we have in my classroom. The child should experience the satisfaction of completing the entire task, from soliding their hands to drying them without the adult to hand them anything. That's the biggest part of the becoming independent. So you see, it's just simple. Everything's at their level. And then, the clothes basket, this is where the self-care part of the lesson begins as well. And They become independent. Independence means handling their entire process, including, accidents, missed opportunities. We're going to have a low basket of clothes within reach when an accident happens. In my classroom, and I'm sure in the other location, they calmly state, "Oh, it looks like you need dry pants. Let's go find you some clothes." And that shifts from focusing from shame or blaming the child for not being able to make it to the restroom to just self correction. And this is just practical action. Clothes should be simple. Um, and we always ask parents to bring elastic waistbands just so that children can learn how to dress themselves, and it'll be easier for them not to get frustrated. Just simple clothing. And then the responsibility carrying the environment. This is also a big lesson in both the primary and toddler. We love to take care of our classroom. Responsibility for the self extends to responsibility of the entire environment. And if you're using disposable diapers, or pull ups, temporarily have the child carry them to the restroom, place it in the bin. This is teaching completion of the task from wiping, move to the toilet paper, to the front of the tank, use small baskets of wet wipes. They need to be able to reach everything without asking for help or stretching. Just everything needs to be at their level. Um, and just simple, the environment and atmosphere. This is, I think, the most important as well. Um, in the potty, in the restroom, and toileting, just because if the environment is chaotic, stressful, this can set major setbacks. And the toddlers, this is where you see a lot of the regression, a lot of the, "Oh, I don't know why he won't, or they won't use the restroom here, or they won't use the restroom over there." um, Sometimes this is where our biggest mistake can occur, from having a lot of chaotic moments in the restroom. And a lot of toddlers get afraid from being in the restroom because it's just so chaotic in the environment. So, creating a calm invitation for your restroom. The environment must be calm and beautiful. Think of a spa for a toddler. Remove every item that is not strictly necessary for toileting or hand washing. Clutter is distracting. If the child is focused on bright toys or characters on the wall, they're not focused on their body. A simple living plan can provide a point of beauty without being distracted. The bathroom should feel like it's a dedicated space for work, which is amazing. If a lot of, like in my classroom, I think we just have a plant. It's a drawing of a plant, and that's it, or a mirror as well. Lining and access to check, considered every micro barrier, the door. If they can't open the door or close it, they can't choose privacy. They have to wait for an adult. This removes any any independence for them. The light switch, if they have to ask you to turn it on, you have broken their independence. A simple plastic switch extender costs a few dollars and pays. They will be able to do everything on their own. Finally, ensure that the path to the restroom is clear. Accidents happen when the child is delayed trying to navigate cluttered hallways, which, accidents are going to happen no matter what. And it's okay. It's okay for children to have these accidents. Um, yeah. So the summary of the goal is dignity. Um, remember that tolerating is not a challenge, it's an opportunity. It's one of the biggest acts of self care and control they can perform. By preparing the environment, we're also stating clearly that we trust them, we respect them. We just start small, don't rush into the toilet. Follow your child's cues, be patient, be precise, and starting small, lowering the towel hook, adding a little potty, and yeah, This is my restroom in my classroom, and I did ask Miss Stephanie if we can share this because it has a beautiful video resource, so you can see it in action and how to independent your toddler's bathroom. It shows just a Montessori restroom, how they will prepare it. Um, I'm so glad that you were able to join, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys may have. Uh, I think so. Oh yeah, look, give me a quick here second.
If your booty looks like this, if your belly looks like this, and your arms look like this,
I don't think so. Here, I
it
can.
actually took me a long time to get this right, and I sort of took too long to do it, to be
Hmm.
honest.
I don't think it will let me. Here, let me see. Yeah, it won't let me, but I don't mind sharing it because yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah. Yes, of course. In my classroom, whenever the toddlers are ready, I usually always see them like not wanting their diaper anymore. Like we see a lot of toddlers like start itching, saying no to the diaper, or simply going in the potty. Um, Going on their own, they'll sit down and obviously go, or they spend a lot more time in the restroom. We don't force them. Whenever we're doing diaper changes, they'll all sit down and we let them experience what sitting down in a toilet is. That's how I've noticed that they wake up dry from nap. They don't use the restroom they don't go in the diaper anymore. Yes, and I've had a lot of parents in my classroom, like like my youngest is 18, and mom shared over, the like spring break that he used the potty, and I was like, okay, let's keep an eye, like let's not rush him. Let's just see what he's doing. Oh yes, and just maintaining, the calmness, not blaming them. I feel like that's a big key. Getting upset that they wet themselves or swallowed themselves. Yes. Yes. Okay. Awesome.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you define, I guess, so we're potty training Kaden, and what we're seeing lately is that she seems unbothered about just peeing anywhere and everywhere. So, although she had very clear signs of like being ready, she definitely understands. She's demonstrated the ability to go. She was over her diaper. She was talking about it. So it's like checked all those boxes. But now that we're in it, she'll just be like, "Oh, mom, pee peed over there." And is like totally unbothered, happy to help us clean up. And so I guess the question is, this felt timely that this meeting was happening because I was wondering like how do you define signs that they are not in fact ready? Like what are the situations in which you thought they were ready and then you started and then you went back as opposed to kind of like fighting through?
Yes, I feel like if you guys have already started the potty process or the potty toileting everything, I wouldn't go back because then you're gonna send your child mixed messages. It
Makes
also
sense.
depends. Like, are you guys using like the training underwear? I usually tell my parents like I don't really like the cloth, like the thick training underwear for them because they feel
Yeah.
like a diaper.
She genuinely doesn't care. Like even if she's butt naked, she's just like, peed right there.
And how old is your daughter, if you don't mind me asking?
She turned 2 in January, so
Okay, yeah, she's
27
pretty
months.
on the younger side. Um, if you guys don't think she's ready, I will just slowly, introduce her back to the diaper, and wait until she starts showing it again. Because sometimes, we talk about the potty, we use the potty at school, we talk about, we read books, and sometimes children we think they're ready, and sometimes they aren't, and we're pushing them to a little more than we should, and that's where it's causing more of the accidents because she might, she might have shown that she was ready, but obviously you guys are struggling. um what's it called? You guys can, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and Haley actually, we in our parent teacher conference, we were asking like what the language is that you guys use in school. And she shared that they say it's your turn. And I will say, like, that's working. She's fighting us less. She's more willing to, like, okay, fine, I'll just go sit. And then usually pee comes out anyways. So, like, it's definitely like trending in the right direction. I was just curious if there's any like telltale signs of like, oh, yeah, she was flirting with Reddy, but she's not actually. Like, I also believe that she's fully capable. I was just curious, like,
Yeah.
when is enough?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. And and then I also noticed a lot of like the children, like if we ask them, "Do you need to go potty?" A lot of them would be like, "Oh no." And I've noticed that we use the language of like, "No, like we have to use the restroom." They will go. And like they'll be doing the pee pee dance in front of you, and they'll still tell you they don't want to because they don't want to stop what they're doing. They want to continue playing, reading, working, eating. And if you give them the option, like, "Oh, you can go, or we can go together," they'll typically have to go. Mhm.
Thanks, guys. Super helpful.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.